So this gentleman here is telling me to tell my 8-month-old to stop screaming. She's a child, sir.
I'm sorry for like having the confrontation.
You can remove yourself from this restaurant.
Have you ever scrolled across a video and instantly think, oh boy, here we go again? Because that is exactly what I thought when I came across this viral post from this creator called VEEE. She is a mom of an 8-month-old baby, and it looks like she had 2 other little ones with her too. In this clip that we're about to watch, you know, she's seated inside of a restaurant, and you can tell that they were about to dine or in the middle of dining. Her baby, who is, mind you, 8 months old, was letting out playful baby screams. You know the one, the baby is not crying, neither is the baby throwing a tantrum. The baby is just making little shriek that comes out when they're excited or when they're testing their voice. In Jamaica, would have said them a train them voice.
So this gentleman here is telling me to tell my 8-month-old to stop screaming because he has sensitive ears. I know it's loud, but he's an adult, he can leave. And he chooses not to leave. He's choosing me to tell me to take my baby out because he has sensitive ears.
You need to learn to be respectful.
She's a child, sir. It's not me. I didn't do anything.
You're causing this whole restaurant to have to hear our discussion. They don't want to eat that. They want to eat their food.
You came to me about my child, did you not? You're speaking for other people that haven't spoken. And the only reason I'm furious about it is because you came to address me about an 8-month-old.
You're forcing everyone in their
I'm not forcing any. I didn't tell the baby to talk. I'm happy that she has a voice, and I'm happy she can speak, because there's children out here that can't even speak. That's nonverbal. So I am grateful for my child to be able to have a voice, and that's not up to you as an adult to chastise me or to whoop me because my child is speaking. You can't remove yourself from this restaurant.
This couple sitting nearby, apparently the man turns to her and starts telling her that she needs to quiet the baby based on how the video was picked up. He responds, explaining that her child is only 8 months old, and at that age they don't understand what it means to be quiet. So she's saying, sir, she's a baby, she doesn't know, but he keeps going back and forth with her, telling her that she needs to control the baby, or maybe she should just leave if audacity was a person. So what is even more awkward is that his own companion, who I assume could be his girlfriend or maybe his wife, she looks completely embarrassed. You can see it on her face like she's there thinking, please stop, not here, not now. It gets so uncomfortable. Even the restaurant manager or maybe the supervisor actually comes out to try to calm down, the whole situation.
No, you're disrespectful, you're entitled, and you're being privileged right now, because there was nothing in this world that made you feel like you can come say that to me about my child, and then you're upset that I'm reacting. I'm reacting to your response. There are nonverbal children out here, and you want to sit here and act like I'm supposed to suppress my child's voice?
I'm not responsible for the way that men have probably mistreated you in the past.
Men? I'm a happily married woman. What are you talking about, baby? I'm 10 years next week. Clap it up for me. That's what you can do. So no one has mistreated me. You've been disrespectful. I didn't accuse you. Have I ever said racist? Did I say racist in here?
I was talking down to you because of privilege.
No, I said privilege does not equal racism. Let me educate you for a second, sir. Privilege, hold on, no. Let me educate this man. No, let me educate him, because he just said I call him racist. I never did it. I said privilege because you're being an adult and you're expecting me to remove my child when I patronize this restaurant just like you. That is privilege. You're expecting me to put yourself over everybody else in this restaurant.
Both sides are clearly frustrated. Eventually, V gathers her things and pick up her kids and leaves the restaurant.
It's not a thank you, but you realize how disrespectful it is, right?
I'm so sorry.
No, I'm so livid.
Yeah, I'm so sorry, because I totally understand, like, having kids, it can be hard, and like sometimes it's hard to like get them to listen to you when they're not even able
It's not
to
even
like.
that. I can tell them she's 8 months.
Exactly. So that's why I'm saying, like, I'm sorry for like having the confrontation and stuff like that. I'm not saying anything is your fault. I totally understand. Yes, ma'am. I get it. So I'm just trying to calm the.
We're already leaving, so it's not a thing.
Yeah. So that's why I'm not even making a big deal.
But I'm mortified. I'm not gonna lie to you, because as a parent,
like, yeah, I understand. Like,
that's telling me I gotta go in my house and never come out with my children, all because he's an adult. He can actually leave. If he felt it was uncomfortable for him, he didn't have to come and speak to me. He could have left. Then he's speaking for other people in the restaurant, making it an uncomfortable experience.
Yeah.
That would have.
Yeah, I totally understand. Yes, ma'am.
And I come here a lot.
Yeah, I know. I see you coming here a lot too.
Thank you.
thankful. And every time you come here with your kids, I never
And
had
I've
a
seen
problem.
other people with kids and they yell and we felt bad. But when we see the other family coming with kids, we realized this was a family establishment.
Yeah, exactly.
And that's why we
And I
never,
never say anything
and that's why
about
we
it.
come back.
And I never say anything about
And you
it.
don't. And
Exactly.
thank you for that.
Yep. So I totally understand, and I'm sorry for the inconvenience and the situation that you're in. I'll to go this for you. Yes, ma'am.
Y'all know me, and you know, so we're going to talk about this because these are the kind of moments that raise real world issues or questions, you know, about parents, diners, and just people that we face every day. What I wanted to explore today isn't just who is right or who is wrong, but what really happens when parenting meets the public space, you know. So, of course, Islanders, grab your snack, get comfortable because we're about to stir up some opinions around here.
To the young mother that had the 8-month-old little girl that was screaming inside that coffee restaurant type setting, and you was upset that they were complaining, and you said that the man that was complaining, that if he didn't like it, he was groaning, he could leave. In my opinion, you were wrong. And I'm going to say why you were wrong for those that haven't seen the video, but here, let me get into it. Number one, the scene gives a Starbucks type thing. It looks like one of those coffee shop that if you work at home, you know, you want to go and you sit and you work on your computer. If you want to have a little quiet coffee date, it give a little quiet scenery that people just go to relax and just whatever, right? And you have a daughter, right, that is nonverbal and makes a lot of screaming sounds, okay? She can't help it. We get it. This is not Burger King. It's not McDonald's. It's not Chuck E. Cheese. It's not a kid-friendly place. Why would you pick a spot such as that? To me, you was looking for attention. Why would you pick a spot just such as that and then say that the man is privileged? No, you went in there with your privilege behind, knowing that your child was going to be making those sounds, making those noise. And then when someone complained, you get upset. You went in there with that issue, and then I feel sorry for that poor manager. When the manager is trying to speak and help out both situations, I'm noticing that you had 2 more kids that was running around. And it gives, you was trying to make a video. It gives you pushing. And what I am going to say is this. If you have a child, it's just like if you was to go to court. You can't bring no screaming baby inside of court. I don't care what the situation is. You will get kicked out of court. Church, certain places, it's a no. So when you see that restaurant where people are sitting down on coffee dates and it's a quiet scenery, why would you bring a baby in when you know the baby's going to make noise and then get upset that somebody's complaining? You wrong.
I just watched that video and I have no idea whose side to choose because I feel like both parties are correct. In the man's instance, yes, like he probably came off of a super long day of work, doesn't want to go to a restaurant and hear baby crying and screaming as to why he said something. But on her part, I totally understand it because I'm assuming it's a family restaurant. If you want a child-free space, you go to a club, a lounge, a bar, where you won't see children there, right? Because at the end of the day, 2 things can be true at once. You definitely can be disturbing someone's peace when your baby is screaming at a high pitch, God knows how long it lasted for, and you could remove you and your children, right? To be respectful of others, which is the proper thing to do when you're trying to respect each other's space at a shared experience as a restaurant. In hindsight, it is a family restaurant, so I understand that there could be screaming children. It's like when you go on an airplane, like the child could scream the whole airplane ride. I've been on airplanes where the child seems like it's screaming for 2 hours straight. What are you supposed to do? Turn the plane around and get the child off? It doesn't really work like that, you know? But there is common courtesy and common decency. So I believe that, yes, she could have took out her child, but I also believe that he could have removed himself. If he was waiting for his food, he could have just went outside and waited for his food and decide not to dine there. In the situation, I don't feel like anybody's really in the wrong, but as a child-free person myself, I don't really want to hear screaming at a restaurant, especially how I work super long days and you just want to go to the restaurant and chill. You don't want to hear that. But at the same time, if I was a mom and I had 2-3 kids with me and my child's screaming, I'm probably overstimulated. I'm probably annoyed as well. But I don't think it was something to post on social media to bash him.
All right, Islander, so let us unpack what really happened here. You know, where the baby is playing and just making those sounds, and clearly the baby got loud. completely normal at that age, if you may ask me. This man clearly felt the sound disrupted his meal. It said him overstimulated. I mean, I pick no sides, we're going to dissect it all together. Here's the big question, guys. When it comes to public restaurants, especially the one that has high chairs or maybe a kids menu or even booster seats, babies are automatically welcome, and with babies there comes noise. So there is like an unspoken rule that once you step inside that restaurant, parents need to somehow manage the volume, if you understand what I say. Personally, I'm a mom. I have been there. I remember when my kids were little at that age, and I just knew certain places where to take them and where I wouldn't take them. And that's just me being honest. If it was like a casual place, like a family friendly spot, no problem. But like a fine, quiet dining, date night type of places, then I would definitely avoid those places, because I know that babies can be very unpredictable. Still, if a restaurant accommodates families, then automatically it means that there will be children, and where there are children, there will be sound, unfortunately. So I have watched this and I couldn't help but to ask myself, what exactly was that man expected? We so give from his perspective to me not be biased. You're inside a restaurant that seats family. You're not in a private club or maybe like a candlelit wine bar type of vibe. At the same time, I understand people wanting to have a peaceful meal. But they tell us I'm not gonna be biased. But does it give someone the right to confront a mother directly, especially over a playful baby noise? Or should that have been something that was left to the staff to handle quietly and respectfully? And let me know what you think.
So you are going to refuse to take my order because my child was screaming?
Yes, I have the right to do that. If you're more than welcome to come inside, or you can place an order online and we'll make it for you.
And what is really like, you're going to not take my order?
Yes, ma'am, that is what I'm saying.
Okay. All right. Well, I do have this on video and I will be emailing corporate because that's just like completely rude. I cannot come inside because my daughter does not have shoes on. Do you understand that?
No, man, I understand, but you're also more than welcome to order through online as well.
So you want me to take an extra 20 minutes and order online? That's not convenient to me. It's your job to take orders and stuff, and this is ridiculous. So I'd like you to take my order, please.
Okay, I will be happy to take your order as long as your daughter doesn't scream, alright?
I think that's a pretty good decision on your part.
Okay, I don't need this attitude.
That ear-piercing scream is an unruly child on a transatlantic flight to New York. The passengers describe an 8-hour flight from hell with non-stop and nerve-jangling screaming and fussing. They even covered their ears to drown out the 3-year-old. His mom was overheard telling flight attendants he has behavioral problems. Passenger Shane Townley shot the video.
She kind of looked like she was used to it. He was climbing all over the chairs. He was just screaming, would not let up. He was running up and down the aisles. There was nothing she could do.
Before the plane even took off from Germany, the child's mother could be heard asking a flight attendant to turn on the Wi-Fi so the child could be appeased with an iPad. She was also heard pleading, "Calm down, honey."
All right, Islanders, I hope you like the video and not engage with the content, because now we're going to look at both sides without jumping to conclusion. The mother side, she's simply just living her life, feeding her kids and basically minding her business before this man spoke to her. Babies don't have a volume control, unfortunately. If there were one, trust me, I would be the first customer to buy one. But all jokes aside, guys, if every public place pushed mothers out the moment a child make a sound, where would parents even go? There are already so many spaces where moms feel judged for just existing with their baby in public, and that constant fear of bothering someone else, can really make you feel that you can't live normally.
So I desperately need to know who is in the wrong here. So I planned a surprise trip to San Francisco for my husband's birthday. On this trip, it was going to be me, my husband, and my baby, who's 11 months old. For his actual birthday night, which was Saturday, I made dinner reservations at this little French spot. It's super cute, like kind of fancy, but not like crazy fancy. And the reservation was early, like 6 p.m. So they seat us. It's me, my husband, my baby, and then like one table over, so not right on top of us, was a table of 3, a man and 2 women, and they were probably like in their 60s. Now my daughter is teething, so she was like being kind of whiny, but not like insane. She wasn't like throwing a tantrum. And again, mind you, she's a baby. And this table, dude, the women, it was the woman, first of all, which is like, girl, please. She was rolling her eyes, huffing and puffing. And Wilder, my daughter, was not crying. She was being a little bit whiny, you know, like needed a new toy or something, like every maybe like 10 minutes. Anytime she made the tiniest peep, this lady, like a one table over from us, was just, to the point where we basically tell the waiter, like, hey, we might need you to just like throw our steak and the rest of the food in a to-go box, which it hadn't even come yet. And then I finally looked at my husband. I'm like, no, like this woman, I don't know her. I'm never going to see her again. It's his birthday. My daughter's not even like throwing a fit. I was feeling so insecure, and I'm just like, is it preposterous to bring a baby to a nice restaurant on a Saturday night? Like, am I so rude for doing that? I just feel like we're entitled to still have life experiences even though we have a baby. And also, this woman is 60 years old. Like, you've had a million dinners. Like, let my daughter have a dinner in San Francisco. Like, she's a tiny little baby. It's also not like this was like a 10-year-old kid throwing a tantrum. It's a baby. Like, dude, have some compassion. Am I like so out of line here?
I have 3 kids. I'm about to have 4. And my youngest, she sometimes screams in public. Like, she doesn't scream a lot and cry a lot in public because I feel like she's pretty well-mannered. But, like, I just never had to deal with that. And sometimes I get really embarrassed because, like, I've just never had to deal with that. And, like, when I see other moms who, you know, their babies are crying or whatever, I always just pray. Like, I always pray over that mom and I pray over that child. And I just pray that they have peace and that they're not sad anymore and that the mom isn't stressed or anything like that. And sometimes I'll even say something. Like, I know one time I was like, you're doing a good job. Like, it's okay. Like, it's going to be fine, you know? And they were really encouraged by that. But I feel like a lot of people just stare and look and judge and, like, I feel like in today's world, like, everybody hates kids, so it's like you just feel embarrassed and you feel like people are staring at you, and like I just never had to deal with that, and I feel like I didn't really handle it well. Like, I gave my daughter 2 little pops on her leg, and I feel like I just didn't handle it the way that I should have, and I feel like a lot of that had to deal with being embarrassed. And it's just like, why am I embarrassed that my daughter is crying in public? Like, when we got back in the car, she literally went to sleep. Like, she was tired, you know? But, like, she was upset and screaming because she didn't want to share with her siblings. And I'm trying to teach her how to do that. And it's just like, that's just like what comes with being a parent. Like, you're going to be embarrassed sometimes by your kids. But it's just like, why are we embarrassed? Like, what's the root of that? Like, we're embarrassed by people judging us because our child is showing their emotion and they're learning. You know what I mean? Like, why am I embarrassed about that? Like, why do I feel the need to, like, shut it down and, like, get them together so quickly?
Message is for the mom that I just saw with the screaming toddler in Target. So if you're not that mom, keep on scrolling. Girl, if you feel more comfortable to just leave the store after you've shopped, by all means do that. But don't you dare move your cart to the side and leave the store after you have done all this shopping with a screaming toddler because other people are pissed off. I can promise you, if you've walked by a mom and you have a screaming baby, that mother is more stressed out than you will ever be, and don't make her feel uncomfortable. To the people that were like walking by her, shut up. Do you have any idea how hard it is to have a screaming toddler in Target? So girl, keep on shopping. Everyone else around you can just they can deal with it. They can just deal with it. We know that you're stressed out. We know that you're tired. We know that you probably tried to calm that kid down 1,000 times. You do what you do what you need to do, shop however long you need to shop, get whatever you need. Don't leave the store because of other people. But if you feel like you need to, for you, girl, I get it. But don't ever do that for other people.
Let's step into the other side and just look at it for a moment. You go out to eat, you spend your money like everybody else, expecting maybe a calm dining experience, and the baby suddenly starts screaming beside you. It startles you, and maybe it happens repeatedly. Maybe you're not used to kids. Who knows? I can understand how frustrating that can be and very uncomfortable too. The problem is, how do we handle that frustration? I'm going to read some of the comments shortly because people were even talking about babies that scream on the plane. That's another case. But in this case, the man approached the mom directly to tell her to quiet the baby or maybe just leave. That is where everything went downhill, if you should ask me. So if you think about it, that's not going to make anyone any calmer. It is going to make any parent defensive. Once emotions rise, logic leave the room. In the day, vanish, vamos, pack up and gone.
I said privilege because you're being an adult and you're expecting me to remove my child when I patronize this restaurant just like you. That is privilege. You're expecting me to put yourself over everybody else in this restaurant.
What stuck with me the most though, I can't come and fight, was the woman sitting with him. She looked like she just wanted to melt in the floor. You could see her face like she was so embarrassed, not necessarily by the baby, but by him. On make me know what to think. In most of these viral moments, there's always one person escalating and the other thinking, why did you have to say something in your head? You understand? We know them way there. As as per usual, social media had a lot to say and it's split down the middle because some are saying that the man was completely out of line and that he should have mended his business pretty much, and others are saying that the mother should have taken her baby outside if the noise had continued. So the comment section is wild and we're going to look at some of them. One person, you remember reading that, somebody said, if you can't control the baby, then don't bring them out in public. What? Another person said that people without kids really forget that babies are human too. They cry, they scream, they exist. And then of course, there's a group of people sitting right in the middle saying that them understand both sides, They believe that it's mutual respect, and I kind of listen to that right now, me I straddle the fence. If your baby is having like a loud moment, take a quick walk with them outside, calm them down, soothe them, they can come back in. And if you're the diner, maybe you can show a little grace because there's no one intentionally trying to ruin your dinner, sir. No, here's where I want to hear from you, Islanders. Let me know what is your take on this because I know it's a whole heap of discussion we're going to have in the comment section. But if you do it respectfully, of course. So let me know, do you think that the man was right to speak up, or should he have just left that to the staff to quietly speak to the mother about the noise bothering him? Or do you think that parents should be extra mindful when deciding where to dine with your little ones? Because personally, as I say, I think that both sides could have handled it differently. VEEE, who is a mom, could have taken maybe like a short breather if it continued, but then the man could have extended empathy instead of a confrontation. Alright, so I'm going to read some of the comments that is under her comment section, and we're going to look at some of the shade room comment section because I find that sometimes the comment section is a little bit biased based on where the video is posted. So I want to get different perspectives. So these are her comments. Someone is saying that he's 100% right. And somebody else is saying, girl, not everyone wants to hear your baby screaming. If she does it a little, okay, but if she continuously screams, then pick up the baby and leave. So people are saying that, and this is under her comment section, by the way. I think that they would have been a little biased. But anyhow, another person says, if you're in a restaurant and the baby starts screaming, you do the decent thing. Get up, take the child outside, and don't bother anyone else. All right? Somebody else says, I honestly get both sides, as me say. I understand. I'm on his side. No one needs to hear that or get bumped into kids in a restaurant. And another person said, why would he assume that she was a single mother? That part me really never get either. Teach her to be respectful. An 8-month-old baby. Exactly. How do you do that? Please, sir, when you learn, I need to know. Somebody else says, I must agree with him. She's a child, but you can still teach her to lower her voice in public. And yes, I work with children. You can teach them this. He was being respectful. So you see, guys, it's a lot of cross way over the fence in between. Another person said, I'm on his side, I won't lie. So apparently I was getting it wrong because I thought a lot of persons would have pacified her, you know, in her comment section, but clearly people are just objective or just stalking. Some of the shade room comments basically is saying the same thing. Well, somebody says, I love how the employee de-escalated the situation. These are the type of people who truly deserve to be promoted. Somebody else says a baby shouldn't be screaming in public, or soothe your babies or take them somewhere else. Wow. Some children are not ready to be in restaurant environments or even on planes. Some children are not ready to be in restaurant environments or even on planes. If you don't have a child that can be calm in those places, then Chuck E. Cheese, oh my God, not Chuck E. Cheese, not Chuck E. Cheese getting a stray or maybe even a promotion, then a Chuck E. Cheese is where you should be having lunch. Another person says, when you're on a 40-hour flight and the baby screams and cries the entire flight, that I can understand. Oh my gosh. Another person says, I don't want to hear ish either. I don't go to restaurants for all of that. The baby cute though, but no ma'am. So they might give it to her. So another commenter says, I can stand the parents that are used to ignoring their babies scream and expect everyone to ignore the screams as well. At least try to console the baby, give them a pacifier or try something. I'll never forget how I paid for a business class on Emirates seat and I couldn't sleep for the entire 15-hour flight because of a screaming baby. Parents didn't try anything. So Islanders, and make me know if you want to think wrong or want to think right, because to me, I think it all boils down to empathy and patience and just remembering that when you're in public spaces, it belongs to everyone. Nobody not own it. It's not just the quiet or the loud, but all of us coexisting. So to all the moms out there who if you have ever felt embarrassed because your baby cried in public, then clearly, sis, you are not alone. And to the people who just want peace, trust me, get it too. As I say, I'm straddling this fence today, but maybe the lesson here sometimes that, you know, peace isn't about silence, it's about understanding. Not me having a Socrates and Aristotle moment. Yeah, girl. Anyway, Islanders, tell me which side are you on? Do you think that the man had a point, or do you think that the mom was right to stand her ground? Do you think that both of them just needed to take a deep breath and handle it differently? Of course, drop your thoughts in the comments below because I'm curious to see where you guys all stand on this one. As usual, guys, I did have to just come and give this tea to y'all. Thank you so much for watching and thanks for being open and respectful in the comment section and joining in on the conversation. Don't forget to like this video and subscribe if you haven't already done so, and please feel free to share the video with someone who you know has strong opinions, because we definitely need a good conversation starter. As per usual, guys, thank you again so much for sticking with me until the end of another video. My name is Jody and I aspire to inspire. Until next time, guys, what good.